Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm doing another romance recommendation. So it's been a very long time since I've done a recommendation video and you guys constantly ask me for one. And my recommendation videos are going to change a little bit. I'm not going to do a general genre. I'm doing more of like subgenres now. I tweeted this out a while ago. I asked you guys if you wanted more recommendations on like specific genres. So like Mafia romances, sports romances, rock star romances, like those kind, or tropes. And I kind of planned to do both anyways, but I wanted to see like what you guys wanted more, and you guys picked both. So I think I'm gonna like mix it up and do some where it's like a subgenre and then others where it's like a trope or whatever. So I'm starting this off with a dark romance recommendation for Mafia, mob / sort of assassins romances. You guys always ask me for dark romance recommendations. Because I'm starting this new way of doing my romance recommendations, I will obviously recommend some books I've recommended in past recommendation videos just because they fit into the subgenre and I don't want to leave anything out. So yes, I'm pretty sure that most of these I have not recommended in a past dark romance video, so I feel like these ones you were safe. Like I don't think, I might have recommended one before, but the rest I don't think I've recommended. So I have 6 Mafia romances to recommend you guys today. These are some of my favorites. So the first Mafia / like assassins mob romance that I'm recommending is Monster in His Eyes by J.M. Darrower. I still don't know how to pronounce her name. I really should look it up. I obviously have to recommend this. This is like one of my favorites, if not my favorite Mafia romance. I love this trilogy so much. So the first book is Monster in His Eyes. Second book is Torture to Her Soul. And then the third book is Target on Our Backs. I feel like you should go into this pretty blind. I feel like that way with a lot of dark romances, to be honest. I think like the more you don't know about a dark romance, the better it'll be, because I just feel like sometimes synopses give way too much about a book. Anyways, this follows Carissa, who is a college student, and one day I believe she has like a test or some sort of class situation and she forgets her phone in the classroom, and so she tries to go back and get it, and she overhears a conversation between her professor and this like older man who she doesn't recognize. And while she goes to grab her phone, he sees her and they are both immediately drawn to each other. They're both very curious of one another and they start a relationship really fast. They fall in love really fast, but Ignacio is hiding a lot and Carissa is, I mean, she's 18. She's really naive in that way. She doesn't really question a lot of things, but she does notice things that are off. And Ignacio is very mysterious, very dangerous, older man. Yes, I love this trilogy. I highly recommend. I can never shut up about this. I just love this so much. Then I'm actually going to recommend the spin-off series, Scarlet Scars. So the first book is Menace, and the second book is Grievous. Right? Grievous? I think I'm saying that right. So this follows Lorenzo, who you see in this series. He's not like a main character in this series, but you do see him appear. And then he does have his own spin-off. And so this is set in the same like world. And this follows obviously Lorenzo, who is basically an assassin, a killer. I forget what his official title is, but he just loves to kill. He loves to kill for fun. And one day he bumps into this woman named Morgan and he's immediately intrigued by her. She's very mysterious and he is just so bored that he decides he wants to figure out more about her and what she's running from and her past and all of that. I really did enjoy the Scarlet Scars duology and I do recommend reading it after the Monster in His Eyes trilogy just because it does spoil things and it's just funner to read about Lorenzo after, like to know his side after you read those 3 books. Does that make sense? Okay, and the next one I'm going to recommend is The Kiss Thief by L.J. Shen. And this has a lot of elements to this book. It has a lot of tropes. It has a lot of subgenres, I guess. I would mainly say that it is a mafia romance because it is pretty dark. It does have dark topics, but it also has like political aspects to it, and it has, you know, like the age gap trope and arranged marriage trope and stuff like that. So it has like so many different elements. So this follows Francesca, who is a mafia princess, and she has been in love with her child best friend forever, and she's now 18. So as most mob families, you get married at 18 and it's usually an arranged marriage, and so she's expecting to be married to her best friend because she's been in love with him forever, and they do have like family ties. Senator Wolf Keaton is an older man who is basically blackmailing Francesca's father and arranges a marriage between Wolf and Francesca. I'm not explaining this book very well because it has so many different elements to it, but I just say give it a shot. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I did, and it was actually one of my favorites by L.J. Shen. It does have a slight love triangle, but it's not overpowering. Check it out for yourself because I feel like I'm not explaining it very well. So my next recommendation is Bound by Honor by Cora Riley. This is book 1 in the Born in Blood Mafia Chronicles. Yeah, there's currently 6 books out. The 7th book is supposed to come out in August. There's also a spin-off series, I do believe, which I have not read yet. I do plan on reading it very soon though. The first book is Bound by Honor. The second book is Bound by Duty. The third book is Bound by Hatred. Book 4, Bound by Temptation. Bound by Vengeance is book 5. And Bound by Love is book 6. These follow a mafia family, so they basically have to be read in order. I mean, you don't have to, but I do recommend reading them in order just because everything makes so much more sense, and a lot of these books in the series overlap and intertwine, and you get to see some of the plot from other books in other characters' POV. Does that make sense? Probably not. So yes, book 1 is about Arya and Luca, who are my favorite couple in the series, and then book 2 follows Dante and Valentina, who are my second favorite because clearly these are the only 2 that I own so far. Bound by Honor follows Arya, who is a mafia princess who is being married off to another mob family, to like their, I guess, mob prince. Their marriage has been arranged since I feel like she was a teen or something like that, but she doesn't know very much about her husband or her future husband, and all of the rumors about him are extremely terrifying, and she is very scared, and she's not sure if she is cut out to be his wife. And it's really good. It doesn't have much of a plot, let me just say that. Like this, I feel like especially the first 3 to 4 books, the first 3 books don't have much of a plot. I feel like book 4 and book 5 and book 6 have more of a developed plotline, storyline. But yeah, I highly recommend this series. I really love it. I gave the first book 5 stars because I really couldn't stop thinking about it, and I just really loved it. So I highly recommend this series as well. The next series that I'm going to recommend is a new series that I read back in March, and that is the Russian Guns series by Bethany Chris. The first book is The Arrangement. The second book is The Life, The Score, Damien and Anna, Shattered, and The Jersey Vignettes. So the first 3 books follow Viviana and Anton, and then book 4, 5, and 5.5 follow their children and like their romances. So I do recommend reading these ones in order. This follows Viviana and Anton, who have had an arranged marriage in the making for like 20-ish years. Viviana's family is brutally murdered, and she is the only one living. And at this point, she's kind of distanced herself from the mafia, and she doesn't really have that many ties. But suddenly there is a threat on her life, and Anton finally decides that it is time to get married and he wants to protect her. It's sort of an arranged marriage, so she's not really into it, but she decides that it is the safest thing for her because her uncle is basically threatening her life. I recently binged this entire series. I loved it so much. I loved the characters, I loved the romance. I just highly recommend it. These books are really addicting. Like, I just really wanted to know what happened. And yeah, I love how the first 3 books are about one couple and then the rest are about their children and their children's future marriages and all that kind of stuff. And then the last Mafia romance that I have for this video today is A Necessary Sin by Georgia Cates. This is part of the Sin trilogy, which I'm pretty sure I have recommended before in a dark romance video, I think. But I wanted to recommend it again because it is one of my favorites. This is also a pretty long series. There are 6 books, but the first 3 books follow one couple, and then the rest of the books follow different couples. So we have A Necessary Sin, The Next Sin, One Last Sin, which is about Blue and Sinclair. And then we have Endurance, Unintended, and Redemption, which are each about different couples in the mob family. So A Necessary Sin follows Blue, who suffered a very horrific and traumatic childhood, and she has spent most of her adult life trying to bring this man to justice. So she has studied the Fellowship, which is the mob family, and she has studied particularly Sinclair, who is the son of, I don't think he's the current leader, but he's about to become the official leader. And so she studied him, and she is actually a special agent. And so she decides to go undercover and basically make Sinclair fall in love with her, and then she'll be able to destroy his family. I really love this trilogy. Super good. It's not as dark as some of the other ones that I recommended in this video, so this one might be the one that you maybe want to start with if you have never read like a Mafia mob romance before. This might be your best start. I just really loved this series, so I highly recommend it. So those were some of my Mafia/mob romance recommendations. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will probably have another one in a little bit, but I do kind of want to spread them out and add different recommendation videos here and there. If you have any other mob, mafia, assassins recommendations, please leave them down below, because I also am still always looking for new ones that I have not read yet or have never heard of either. So go ahead and leave them down below. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a like, subscribe, follow me on all my other social media, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.